What's up people, Shinigami here. Today we're doing a TCG World Premiere Archetype Steel List Makers. So these are TCG exclusive archetypes. These are made by Fries and Calm on Twitter, so shout out to them for making this. So yeah, let's start with Cosmo. Cosmo were almost immediately very good deck. Farm Girl of an insane card, so if this card attacks directly, you can search almost any Cosmo card, I believe. They can just float into them. So the pilots float into those huge battleships that are just hard to get rid of from many decks. Even though they're not as relevant nowadays, they're in the same meta deck for a while. I think based off that, I give them like an A tier. They're still a very playable deck to this day. Burning Abyss just has to go to S tier. This deck has been made there for so damn long. People make memes about Dante being one of the best monsters for so long now. Yeah, the deck is just very, very solid. In general, it's also a pretty cool deck to see if I allow a little bit of biasing. Vandrad. Where do I even put this? It could easily be in like A tier or B tier if Konami let it be, but they just stopped giving it good support or support at all. I think the current state, it's an average deck. It's not exactly great, it's not terrible either. In a good pilot slash builder's hands, this deck is still insane. Like to get really do some insane stuff. The main ritual monster gives you insane plus when it hits the grave. But yeah, it just needs more support, and Konami doesn't seem to want to give it to them, so they're sadly stuck in C tier. Never really been relevant, but they've never been weak either. It's like a deck you take to locals and do well with, if built well. Guru. So the thing is, if I were to rank Subterror, it would be E or D tier. If I were to rank Guru Control, it would be S tier. So I'm just gonna place it high A tier, because let's be honest, 90% of Subterror is terrible. The Guru Control aspect is incredible. And the way Subterror is also poorly designed in my opinion. Literally Guru Control is what brings this deck up a bit. Therefore I'm kind of punishing it by only placing in the A tier. Guru Control as a deck is very, very strong. Dangerous, there's a reason there's a few on the ban list still. They're insane. I don't think they're as good as Burning Abyss in comparison, but they're still pretty insane. So all the dangers have the shadow effect where you have to reveal them in your hand, shuffle your hand, then your opponent can randomly pick a card from your hand. If it's a danger, it gets discarded and something happens. If they miss a danger, you discard the card they chose. Smash some of the danger and then draw an additional card. So you're basically going even in resources while summoning a monster, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, dangers are S tier worthy in my opinion. Kaijus as an archetype is like an unplayable deck, F tier. As additions to the game, as like staples, I think they're like low A. Terrible design in my opinion, but they're strong. Like just being able to get rid of any monster for basically free is disgusting, design-wise. But it's strong, so that's why it's like low A tier, it's strong. But they're not really an archetype. They're more of a set of monsters that you run as generic outs to fields. FA. I think a E tier is fair. They're really only viable due to Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is bad nowadays. And the attempts to do support were underwhelming. It's still a terrible deck. Which is a shame. I love the gimmick, I love the visuals, I love the concept. They're just not good. Plunder Patrol, they're like permanent part of the meta. I'm never impressed by them. They really seem weak, but still they're somehow meta. I don't get it. Yeah, Plunder Patrol I think is a B tier. It's like always been a decent deck, but never the best deck in the format. I also think the design is very, very boring, which I'm using against them. So yeah, B tier. Spiral. I don't think the S tier is up for debate. This card is literally tiers. This deck was literally tier 0 for a while. And it entered the meta multiple times. So like Spiral will always find a way to return back into the meta. Spiral is literally insane. Dreamworld, F tier, complete utter garbage, that just doesn't work. You need to print really insane support to make this deck work, I don't think that will ever happen, so yeah, F. Time Thief, that's like a high B tier, they're really just an engine to be mixed with other Xyz spam decks to make these Xyz spam decks. Something that never really took off as an archetype on their own, which is kind of sad. When the first wave got revealed, they looked very cool, then the waves after that yeah, in my opinion, really didn't deliver, which is a shame. Mutant, I think D tier. Like, I literally tried playing them on release, that's like the last time I saw them. You just don't see this deck. They got a new insane support card from the OCG, however. Insanely good new starter. I forgot what it exactly did, but it basically did. It fixed most of the deck. With that, it's definitely a D tier. Maybe future support can bring it up a bit, or they should just move on to other decks. I do think the artwork is very, very sick, though. Warhawk. Unironically, like high D tier. They're bad, but not that bad. They're not these other archetypes level of bad. Plus that their new support in general kind of underdelivers, but they're still playable Earth Warrior support. They're just not very good at it. I think it's one of those decks that if you run like the right traps and stuff at locals, it can just win you a few games, you know? Way easier than something like FA. So yeah. Noble Knights excluding Infernoble, because those are OCG created. Noble Knights themselves. I think about both Pendrad. It really took... I guess they were supposed... Yes, I suppose they were kind of okay on release. Or like, maybe a few waves later. Then they were trash for a while. Then I got some new support that were okay again. But they never really were a great deck. Their art, however, is sick. Their equip spell gimmick is kind of cool. But yeah, it never really became a great deck. So I think, like, high CTOs deserved. Ultimate Athletes. I don't know, man. I just kind of want to give them, like, a low B tier. I think with all the new support, they're a pretty decent OTK deck that doesn't require extra deck. I might need to cover them and don't break the bank. They're cheap. They're very cheap. At least I still believe they are. You want to run 3-FX Savages, though, so they're not that cheap. And yeah, just their ability to ignorantly OTK through certain boards is amazing. So yeah, this is a tier list of all TCG World Premiere Archetypes, aka TCG exclusive Archetypes. If there's any that I missed, well, Peace and Calm just didn't include them. So yeah. This is my tier list of all TCG World Exclusives. If you guys liked it, if not, yeah, that sounds like your problem, buddy. Just kidding. Hope you all have a beautiful day, though. Goodbye.